two intense, complex issues currently sparking conversation nationwide and beyond. My name is SHARON MANDOR.
I am Enquiry. Good morning.
So our first topic today is the recent CAF ruling against the Libya Football Federation, which fined Libya and granted a forfeit victory to Nigeria's Super Eagles after the team faced detainment issues at Al Abrak Airport. This decision has stirred up tensions within Libya, leading some media platforms to call for punitive measures against Nigerian workers. We'll explore the ramifications of this ruling and discuss the broader implications it could have on international relations and the safety of Nigerian citizens working abroad. On the second part of this discussion, we'll turn our focus to the troubling case of minors in detention. Recently, Nigerian authorities filed treason charges against several young people, including minors, who participated in the #EndBadGovernance protest. Now, the National Human Rights Commission has condemned these charges, and not just the National Human Rights Commission. We have other sister CSOs, and the Attorney General has stepped in, ordering a case review. But what does this mean for children's rights and the state of justice in Nigeria? To help us unpack these issues, we are first of all joined by our analyst, our regular analyst in the studio, and then we'll be joining a lawyer virtually to give us the law's perspective on this particular issue. But right now we're being joined by our public and political affairs analyst, Otuekong Donald Enquiry. Good morning to you, Otuekong.
Good morning, Sharon, Mandor, our queen of the airwaves. Good morning, Oselo himself.
Yes.
Happy new month to a lot of people all over again. Sharon, I think I'm seeing you for the first time this month.
Yeah, I think so.
So happy new month to every single person in Akwa Ibom State and the wider nation, and those who are watching us online across the world. And again, Jesus is Lord wherever you are in the world.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Otuekong. Happy New Month to you. Now, let's quickly go into this CAF situation. I'd like us to just briefly touch on it before we go into the child detention story. Now, what role should sports governing bodies like CAF play? Because this is something that started off with football, like bullying or incidents.
The challenge is not a banter. It is if you go down history lane and you look at what problem of excesses in certain regions, we know very well that Africa, we are not very good at project management, managing situations like that. But the excesses of Libya and indeed the whole of North Africa is legendary. It is not the first time. I remember when Senegal played at, was it the World Cup qualifier or the Nations Cup qualifier in Egypt? They used these laser beams, which is customary what they do in North Africa. They use laser beams on the players, and I remember when this guy was about to kick a penalty or something like that. I think Sadio Mane, laser beams were on his eyes and he succeeded to score that goal. And CAF has historically done nothing. We all had this coming, Look at, if I want to go down into history, most times one of the ways, they call it the dark arts in football. One of the ways North African teams seems to win CAF competitions has been employing this kind of dark art, where they do all manner of things to make sure that they overcome the opposing teams, especially when those teams visit North Africa to play football. Across Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Libya, Algeria, they do this continually. And when they come down to the rest of Africa, that same treatment is not given to them. In case of Libya, we've had harrowing experiences of Nigerian teams passing through this kind of experiences. Some 2-3 years ago, I think it was Rivers United. In Libya, they were not allowed. I mean, the stadium they had even paid for, hired for training, they put up the light. The guys were playing in the dark, in the night, prior to this game. Last year, we had that same situation with, I think, Enyimba FC, the People's Elephant. They were locked up in an airport like this for 3 good days. And CAF still expected them to stay and play that match. After about 3 days of no food, no water, nothing, the people decided to come back to Nigeria. And CAF forfeited this thing. So the reason you see this one becoming a big issue is simply because you have international players involved, stars who don't only hold Nigerian passport, but actually they hold international passport. Remember that somebody like Ademola Lookman he came 14 in the just last Ballon d'Or ceremony, and he's on track to become the next African footballer of the year. And he has played twice for England. He has played, no, not twice, has played for England in several age categories, under 19, under 20, and under 21. He even won the under 20 World Cup for England. You know, so people like that, with the image they have, you know, it was it was not easy. It was a big issue. Fabrizio Romano was on it, CNN, all major this thing were on that issue. So it became an issue. Now, the reaction of the Libyan government taking this matter out of football to punish these people, you have to understand the problem you have in Libya. Now, historically, there was a video I watched some years back, or some few days back. I even posted it on Facebook and some other micro-blogging platform about how Nigerians are treated in Libya. You know, so many of them have been killed because most times it is a transit point to Europe. And some Nigerians, because of the poverty situation in Nigeria, are there in Libya to work. And they are being treated badly. Harrowing experience of black Africans. And in the way they are being treated in Libya, especially Libya, because of the lawlessness. You know, Libya is divided into two different camps. You understand? Because of the lawlessness in the country. You know, so they pass through harrowing experience. Some of them have been killed, some of them have been castrated, some of them have been operated and certain organs of their body taken out for sale. It is a common thing happening. I saw a video where Nigerians were being, they were being treated. You have to put your head down, and the men were ordering them. It's a terrible thing, you know. So I am not surprised that Libyans are going to do this. And the way the North African, out of racist attitude they behave towards black Africans is terrible. You understand me? You remember that the pilot, the NFA actually hired those two pilots because of one simple fact. They are North Africans. They know the shenanigans of North Africa. That when they get to North Africa, the two pilots were from Tunisia, that they have a way of managing that situation. But incidentally still, you know what the Libyans did? They took those two North African pilots to a separate accommodation, very good accommodation they gave them because they were North African. But the rest of, there's no Libyan player in the history of Libyan football that you can compare to somebody like Ademola Lookman or any of those boys who played there. You see the point? But they took those guys and gave them a very good, beautiful accommodation. But these guys, they kept them in a very terrible condition in the airport for almost 24 hours, almost 20 hours. So this attitude of North Africans will remain the same. But let us see what the Nigerian government is ready to do. Because unfortunately, the way we are in Nigeria, when we ourselves, we are treating our indigenes in a harrowing, in the same or even worse experience. We let our own indigenes pass through even worse experience. What then can we tell to foreigners? Treat us better when we ourselves, we are not treating ourselves in a better way. That is a conversation for another day.
All right. If you are asked to, take profile your view on the Libyan situation. Right now, they are saying Nigerians should pay the fine of $50,000 that was meted out to the Libyan authorities for their inhuman treatment to the Super Eagles while they were there. Now Nigerians are being arrested indiscriminately with or without their official permits or traveling documents and are asked to contribute to pay back that fine that was given to Libya. What do you take on this?
Well, I think this is left to both CAF, because such a thing should be reported to CAF by the NFA, because you have to separate politics from football. CAF makes that. In fact, FIFA makes it. They should. In fact, Nigeria should take the matter clear. You have to separate football from politics. Going down history lane, I remember when CAF started in the 50s, you still had apartheid South Africa going on. And in Nations Cup, South Africa said they will either send to the CAF tournament a completely black team or a completely white team. And guess what CAF told them? CAF told them, how would I say, the integration of both white and black players in your team, you cannot play in any CAF competition. And South Africa opted out. They only came back after the end of apartheid, because those things were not allowed to happen. You understand? So for Libya trying to politicize a football event. They were punished for football reasons. For them to take the matter out, I think FIFA needs to take a step into it and then ban Libya, because this is a challenge. If CAF had done its due diligence or duty long ago, we will not be waiting. They have been doing it and they expected that this one will work, and it didn't work because it involves persons who were you cannot just ignore persons that captures the attention of the international community, international personalities. Our captain is partly a Dutch citizen, is not a Nigerian. Somebody like Iwobi is a British citizen. Most of them, they have dual citizenship. This other goalkeeper, I've forgotten him, is not just a Nigerian citizen. I think he's an English citizen too. So you have so many of these guys who have dual citizens that nations they are actually from also. Most of them have never lived in Nigeria. They have not spent up to 3 weeks in this country before. You understand me? The only thing is that they have a Nigerian blood, either through the mother or through the father. You know, and maybe because they couldn't get the preferred national teams in Europe, they had to opt. If Ademola Lookman was still an English player and he was playing the way he's playing today, the English team would not have allowed him to play for Nigeria. You see the point? So with that kind of situation, you know, there is no way FIFA should ignore this matter. The Nigeria NFA and the federal government should step into this matter and make sure that the Libyan government does not go away scot-free in these actions that are going, and they should do the needful.
All right, you just mentioned that some of the Nigerian players are not really Nigerian, some are foreign nationals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's true, then what do you take? What's your take on the people anticipating repercussions in domestic and even international justice based on these unlawful actions?
Well, I think the international, that's why the Nigerian government, if you have, thank God now we have somebody like Bianca Ojukwu, a very proactive young lady, very proactive, who knows exactly what to do and has some kind of international clout. And then we believe that she will be able to, on her own, take this matter up and then meet the Libyan foreign ministry, the external, the ambassador to Nigeria, to let the Libyan people know, or the government know, that look, we take an exception to the treatment of Nigerians in such a way that their Libyan people are trying to do. That if anything happens to any Nigerian in that country, Nigeria will hold the Libyan government personally responsible. And I can bet you that you still have Libyans in Nigeria who are living and working. And we should, again, to the Nigerian government, should look for any interest that Libya has in Nigeria, economic interest I mean, and make sure that they hold Libya to account. And number three, they have to take this matter with the AU, African Union. Take the matter to AU, report the matter to AU, even the United Nations or whatever body that Nigeria is part and parcel of, you know, to make sure that Libyans are held accountable. You see, you can't do this to an American citizen. You can't do this to a Japanese citizen or Chinese citizen. You can't even try it with a South African citizen. Like I keep on saying, the problem we have in Nigeria is that, like we are now, the president himself is not treating Nigerians well. So why should any other person treat us well? You see, like it's normally said, the way you lay your bed, so do your visitors come to lie on it. So we don't even treat our own well here. What is the expectation that others will treat Nigerians well? Nigerians have been exploited worldwide, and there's nothing anybody can do. And you hear the government blaming the people. Oh, like the Federal Capital Territory Minister was saying, Nigerians are ready to take a driver's job in our UK, but they are not ready to drive here. How much is a driver in UK being paid? You understand me? They don't even take minimum wage. They are well paid. Even photographers in UK are well paid. You see the point? So, but you're comparing Nigeria to that place. Yes, the houses high, you pay a lot of taxes, but again, to look at healthcare, the day your health goes down in Nigeria, you will believe what Nigeria is.
Thank
like.
you very much, Otweko. Let's move on to the next story, which is the detention of minors since August. I must say that this has made a lot of Nigerians emotional, because I mean, seeing the pictures and the videos from these children, it's something that if you have not seen, you need to. But I need to ask you, what does this incident reveal about the state of Nigeria's juvenile justice system?
Well, I think what is happening, would you really say it is revealing of Nigerian juvenile system? I think it is simply revealing the nature of the kind of government we have and their governance system. I'm locking up children by any law, even though I may not be that vested with the laws of the land or the international, but I do know that there is no crime on earth where you try minors in adult court. It doesn't happen anywhere. There are processes for children anywhere. There are a United Nations Convention, which Nigeria is a signatory to, that directs you on ways and manner to handle minors when they have committed crime. We are not even talking about a crime here, because as far as I'm concerned, waving a flag is not a crime. There is nowhere on earth waving a flag is a crime. So for us in Nigeria to say that for somebody to wave a flag is a crime is crazy to me. And then even to talk about arresting minors, children of 10, 12, 11, 12, up to 15, none of them was even up to 18, which is the legal age that you should stand trial in an adult court. You are an adult at the age of 18. None of them was even up to that age of 18. And so what this is proving to us Nigerians about this government is simply one thing, that we have a government that is using oppression because of their fear, because of the fact that maybe they perceive that their positions in positions of authority is not viewed by Nigerians as legitimate. Because of that, they are using the powers that be, they are using the control of institutions of state like the police, the military, the DSS, to oppress the people out of their fear that if these people rise up, they are going to take negative actions on them. So because of that, they are taking these extreme actions to put fear in Nigerians who may likely tomorrow come out to say that, look, we don't like the way you're governing us. So instead of taking actions to transform Nigeria for the benefit of Nigerians, they believe that using oppressive means is the easier option. This is the problem we are having. So and these things does not, historically, when you look across the world, it has never ever stopped the people from coming out to challenge bad governance. The solution to this problem is for them to prove Nigerians wrong, that we can govern Nigeria well. These children came out for end bad governance, end hunger, protests in Nigeria. And instead of the government responding, they reacted. And this is actually a wrong way to govern a people.
All right, thank you very much, Otweko. Right now, we're being joined, as I said earlier, about we're going to be joining or getting perspective from the law, talking to a barrister that operates here in Uyo, Barrister Abio Okon. I don't know if you can hear us. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, so I don't know if you've been following the conversation, but we've been talking about the detaining of minors since the End Bad Governance protest, since August, actually. I would like to know what the law says about it, given the Nigeria's obligations under both the Child Rights Act and international conventions like the United Nations conventions and the right of the child. How should cases involving minors, especially those related to protests, be handled differently within the justice system?
Thank you very much. There's this general adage that says absolute government corrupts. Absolutely. And what we see the Tinubu government doing is trying to apply extremism to block the citizens from carrying out their right to protest, to drive home what they feel or what they see about the government. and the government is not doing right, the citizen have a way of telling government, look, what you are doing is not what we expected from government. We voted for you, you moved into government house, this is what we expect from you. And those children are trying to protest the fact that, see, we cannot go to school, our parents cannot pay our school fees, transportation to school is very high, feeding is very high. Meanwhile, we are not safe, especially I've been told a lot of them were arrested from the north. We are not safe, our houses are not safe, our farms are not safe. Our colleagues in school, most times, people move in there, pack them in buses and take them inside the bush. So we are moving on the street to tell government what you are doing is not what we expected. So please try and do right so that we can go back to school. Our parents can afford money to pay our school fees. But all government does to round the children off, take them to detention for 93 days and keep them there. Well, that is how I see it. But when it has to do with the law, apart from the fact that those children, in my opinion, did not commit any offense, the law allows us to protest. And the law does not say you must be 70 years before you can protest. The law does not say you must be 1 year before you can protest. So what government did was to look away from the issues involved as the reasons why those children and others went protesting, and to try to intimidate them, use the legal process, and use our security agencies to try to ensure that the citizenry are intimidated so that they don't go to the road again. And I've been told a few days ago they were taken to court and they were granted bail for 10 million each of them, and each of them must look for a shorty to take them on bail. All those things, I am in the business, so I know that government is trying to deter members of the public. Not after the target is not even those children. The target are those of us members of the public who may have the intention to protest in future. So government is trying to make it look as if you try that again, you may never see the sun again. So trying to use our security agencies and the judicial process to intimidate members of the public. That's why I said earlier on that when the government becomes absolute, it corrupts absolutely.
Okay, but Barrister, you mentioned something about they didn't say if you're not up to 1 year old you cannot protest. That's not what the law says, right? But according to
that's not what I'm coming there.
I want to just pose a question based on what you said. Now, according to the federal government, what they are actually charging them for is treason. And it's not that they were protesting, but because they were hoisting the Russian flag and making it, calling on the Russian government to come take over or come and overthrow the government.
Well, if our security agencies were doing what is right, they would have, from those boys, traced to know who sold the flag, who paid money for the sewing of the flag, who bought the clothes in the market and all that. That's how to do investigation properly. But when it has to do with criminal responsibility, you know that ignorance of the law is not an offense. That is talking about law now. Ignorance of the law is not an offense. The only person, the only ages that are incorporated from criminal responsibility is age 7 and below. If they are 7 years and below, even if you kill, they are not criminal. And now, the moment somebody is above 7 years or less than 12 years, is not also criminally responsible. Anybody that is 7 years, I think that is also section 30 of the criminal code. Anybody that is 7 years and above, but is less than 12 years, is not also criminally responsible for an action taken by that person or the omission done by him, except it is shown that at the time the young person did whatever he did or omitted to do whatever he omitted to do, he had knowledge that what he was doing or what he or she was doing was wrong. I think that's what the law says. And therefore, for government to pick those boys, some of them have been told with 12 years, and some of them up to 15. Those of them who are up to 15 years, I think they are up to the age of criminal responsibility. But I also think that because of this new law of young child's right law and the young person's death law, some of them I think must be up to below 18 years. So when a child is below 18 years, the mode and manner of handling his case, even though the federal government too has refused to provide those facilities, but I think there's what they call specialized police. The person must be arrested by specialized police, kept in a specialized place, and then given a specialized treatment. Those facilities have not been provided yet by the federal government. And it was worrisome to have picked those, especially the young ones, kept them in the regular cell, and especially for that long period. I also know that I think Section 35 sub 4, sub 4 and 5, Section 35 sub 4 and 5 of the Constitution talks about the period one can be kept in detention before being taken to court for trial. I think it used to be 12 hours and 24 hours, and now they've amended the law to be 1 day, 2 days, and then such other expanded time as the court may deem fit. So I think that has been taken away. So, but if you want to go by the law, you will realize that except they were below 7 years and below, that is when they will not have any criminal responsibility at all. But since they were above that age, they are up to the age of criminal responsibility. But to talk about what they were doing, which I started with, they were protesting, hoisting the Russian flag, in my opinion, because on the security agencies to unravel whoever has sown the flags for them, because I think that's a violation of Section 37 of the Criminal Code, which has to do with the treasonable felony. Those children, in my opinion, were not the buyers of those clothes. That cloth was not, I don't think it was 1 or 2 yards. It were hundreds of yards, and somebody purchased them. Who did that? Who sold the clothes? Who paid for it? Is what our security agencies have not been able to unravel up till today. To do a proper thing. But I think last night I read somewhere that the federal government is making plans to drop the charges against those children. You see the shame to give somebody one of the highest offense anybody can commit in the country. One of the highest offense anybody can commit in the country, and then turn around to drop the charge against them. That's why I said earlier that the intention was not to prosecute those children, but the intention is to intimidate all of us using our security agencies and the judicial process to intimidate all of us so that whatever government is doing, nobody is doing it.
Okay. All right, Barrister, thank you very much for your contribution. Now, let's look at it this way. Are you looking at Nigeria heading towards a one-party dictatorship in terms of trying to frighten the people as well as the children too?
Well, the truth is that there's no party politics in Nigeria. I have said this earlier on. I have said it severally. I think sometimes ago I was in that studio, I mentioned it, that there's no party politics in Nigeria. Everybody is running around to see where they can secure a ticket and secure a political office. There's no party politics in Nigeria. Otherwise, why would somebody like, what do you call this man, this on weekend, frustrate his own party, the PDP, and his own working in the APC, and he's doing everything every day to ensure that the president is happy with him, for him to remain in power. And many others, including even in Akwa Ibom, where we are, you see a whole lot of things. Somebody was in the House of Assembly, the moment he left the House of Assembly, he ran to the APC, just to ensure that it remains relevant. It's not like in those days when some of us were born, we were born to come and see people like Nelson Mandela remaining in the ANC, they remained there until they died. You have seen the Bush in the United States, they remained there in the Republican. The Bush senior remained there in the party. You want to tell me they don't used to the problems in the party? So when we want to discuss, let's not talk about party politics. There's no party politics in Nigeria at all. Nobody belongs anywhere. Even in Akwa Ibom, where we are now, you find that some of us are looking for a way it is well so that we can run to. So there has always been a one-party politics in Nigeria. There has always been a one-party system, whether at the national level or at the state level. Take Akwa Ibom, say for instance, when the PDP is in power, everybody is here working. Somebody will be a commissioner today, tomorrow you find him being in the one board. Tomorrow you find him because he wants to do everything, including blackmail, to ensure that he remains relevant in government. So there has never been, like the APC is at the national. Now all of us are fighting to ensure that we are there. If by tomorrow you find another political party there, all of us will also fight to be there. Nobody wants to be across the road to walk for the survival of his party. Everybody wants where it's juicy for them to go there. So we have always been, it's not that we are working towards a one-party system. We've always been there.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. Now, what legal avenues or protections are available to actually ensure that the rights of these detained minors are upheld in cases like this, particularly in regard to
that the government who is supposed to protect these children are the ones directly dealing with these children? If you go to my Facebook page, you will see what I wrote on this matter, because I refused, when I made that post, I refused to look at the law, because if I want to look at the law, those children can stand prosecution, because I'm sure they are up to 12 years and beyond. They can start prosecution. The government can decide to prosecute them, whatever will be the outcome. If at the end government is not able to prove their case, that does it. They will be in detention for as long as government wishes. So the government who is supposed to protect these children right now are the same set of people intimidating the children.
You know, Barrister, why I really ask the question is because of the bail conditions and even safeguarding their well-being during detention. When we saw pictures and videos, we saw malnourished children, and people ask questions about if they were not being fed or something. So are there protections available for this?
Protections available for the child. Yes, there are several protections available for the child. The Child's Right Law is there. The Child Rights, the Young People's Act is there. Even the criminal code, every law of the nation built towards the protection of human beings are also available for the children. Who is to enforce these rights? It's the government. Who is to carry out the protection? It's the government. It's not you. It's not me. It is the government. If you see anybody going against the right of a child, you run to the police, or you run to the SSS, you run to the government and report, you run to the Special Service Department of the Governor's Office and report, or you run even to the Governor's Ministry of Women Affairs and report, or the Office of the Wife of the Governor and report. But if government is at the forefront of dealing with these children, who will you report to? Already the right of these children have been trampled upon by detaining them for so long and taking them to court in circumstances that is even the international community is not happy. And who is doing it? Is it you or is it me? It's not. It's the government who is supposed to protect them. So all we need to do, I think, is for the civil society group and all of us concerned to wake up and begin to shout at the government to begin to protect these children. That's the truth. It is the government, as you are in the studio now, if they are worried about the situation, all you need to do is to leave the studio, go to the governor's office and make your report. But it's the same governor's office that is troubling upon the right of these children. So that is my major worry, because like I started this discourse by telling us that when absolutism in government means that the government is corrupt. So what the government of President Tinubu is doing is a fast approach to absolutism, which is not proper for us.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, well, the Criminal Procedure Code governing crimes committed in Kaduna State and Kano State are quite different. And these crimes were committed in these states. Why bring them to Abuja?
It's okay. It's a crime. The complainant is the federal government. And the federal government, if you are committing an offense against the federal government, you know, apart from the state laws, there are federal laws. And therefore, if, in the opinion of the federal government, you are committing an offense against any federal law, they have the right to charge you in the federal courts, taking you away from where the offense was committed. If the state government was complaining that what they are doing is an offense against any of the state laws, I'm sure they would have been charged in the state. But this time, it is the Attorney General of the Federation that is angry, or that is complaining, that offense have been committed against the federal government. But I think too that even if it has to do with the treason can also be charged in the treasonable felony can be charged in the state. It can also be charged where they are doing.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Eyubi Okon, a legal practitioner. Oh, I'm sure we'll have more conversations moving
Before
forward.
I allow the barrister to go, barrister, please, in a situation where these people are found not guilty, are you seeing the government paying compensation to these children?
Well, I have been in the system. This is, I like letting people know, this is my 15th year as a lawyer, and doing just one business without doing doing any other thing, doing this single business. I think Otueko can attest to this fact.
Yes.
Most of the cases that goes to court, especially these criminal cases that goes to court, is exactly the same thing that government is doing. The intention is not to prosecute the matter to the end, because every crime has its ingredients which you have to prove. I don't know what I understand.
Very well.
Every crime, if you say a man raped a woman, you must prove the penetration of the penis into the vagina. That is the ingredient of the offense of rape. Now, this offense, treasonable felony, I think that's treasonable felony, yes. Treasonable felony has its own ingredients. That you were organizing people, you get them gone, you try to take over power, either somewhere in that Kaduna state or in a Bible state, God forbid, or anywhere in the country, that is what you were doing. That you organize people, you gave them flack, you did this, you did that, and that the people actually followed you. That was your intention. Majorly, that intention has to be proof. That your intention was to take over government. Now, if you want to charge these children, how will you prove that their intention was to take over government? They had a flag of another country, yes. They were inviting that government to come and take over, yes. Who gave them the flag? Is it that they had the flag? Who was the teller that sold the flag? So a lot of things will have to be proved. So the intention is not to prosecute those children, like I said. The intention is not to prosecute those children. The intention is to intimidate not only those children, but intimidate all of us, so that we don't go protesting anymore. But if you ask my opinion, I think too that whoever did the issue of sowing flag for those children did not do well. Nigeria is a sovereign state. I know that it is bad, yes, it is bad, but we are also in certain areas we are making progress. It was not nice for anybody to sow the flag of another country and inviting the country to come and take over the shop. I did not hear that, but hoisting the flag of another country in Nigeria was not proper. But I think too that the security agencies who are supposed to investigate this matter did not do well, because it is not the hurry or the long detention of those children, but to go to the roots to find out who bought those clothes, who sold them, who paid for them, because those are the major culprits.
Thank you very much, Barrister. This has definitely been.
Okay, so the government does not intend to prosecute those children. They don't have the intention. They only want to deter all of us so that we don't go doing that anymore.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Barrister. All right, we'll be heading back to Otueko in the studio. Thank you once again, Barrister. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Okay, back to Otueko in the studio. Now, Otueko, let's come back to you. And coming back to you, I want to find out if eventually these children are released now. The federal government, are you seeing the federal government dropping the charges against these kids?
Yeah, I think just like AEBO, as AEBO has just said, they don't intend to prosecute this case to the end. The actual intention, just like I said before, was to intimidate the ordinary Nigerian, because they themselves are afraid. And since they control the gateways of this nation, like the institutions that control the nation, that the ones in charge, they are using those institutions for simply one reason: to oppress the people, to subjugate them, to make them malleable, so that they can do whatever they want to do. So I don't see this case going that far, again, for just another reason. You have the international community in this matter. I recently saw it in one of these, there's an online Indian, very popular worldwide, Face Post they call it, online a news channel. It's a very popular this thing that has interviewed a lot of American ministers, you know, just to show you how powerful they are. And the case was on it, you know. So the international community is beaming its searchlight or its eyes on how the government will handle this matter. Now, for the Attorney General himself, who may not even be really in support of what is going on, is an SAN, a man who is, I mean, as far as the issues of the law is concerned, he knows the nitty-gritty of it, the left and right and the north and south of it. So, simply because he is part and parcel of the system, maybe that is why he's keeping quiet. For them to say that he is not in the know, like he's trying to claim now, I don't think it is true. But he is now coming in to say that those files, detention order has been made for those children to be detained up to January. He cannot go against it. But what he's trying to do is that those things should now come to his office. He's trying to see how they can bring down the detention period, to see what can be done. I think they're trying to see how they can, that situation can get a softer landing.
Thank you very much. And then when we return, we are going to be opening phone lines. We're going to be opening phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. So do well, stay tuned to your radios, to this radio channel. Thank you, and stay with us.
Otwego, let me come back.
We have to open the phone lines.
Okay.
We have to open the phone
right,
lines.
the phone lines are yours on 0803 085 7755. The other number is 0809 066 6909. I'll take the 55 and 0809 066 6909.
We're streaming live on Facebook. The handle is Memories965FM. And remember, just as Otilo said, our WhatsApp number is 0809 066 6909. Drop your comments on Facebook and then we will have a conversation. Hello, good morning. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, you're welcome. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Whether terrorists or Boko Haram or whatever movement, were keeping federal government the conditions that there was a check
Yes.
to hospital.
Yes.
And then after delivery, they carry the woman to go and drop at a particular point. The terrorist made condition for them to release their members in Kuje prison. That was not done. All of a sudden, one day, all the security operatives that were at the prison facility or whether correctional facility, well, they went to sleep. And the terrorists came and cut everywhere, brought up their members and they went away. Today, I'm not sure how many of them have been arrested. Yet, these children were lucky. Today, we are here to resolve the mystery behind the lucky killings. They were locked up. And yet, they are still going to be locked up until then in January. So what are we saying? This is a president that led protest in this country against Canada. Serious protest. But yet this is the same president that is trying to shut us up. What you to know is that they say God knows the Bible. The way God is pushed to the wall it bites. One day, if they are not careful, this country will not be able to contain them.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. We have to go on Facebook now. We have some comments on Facebook. We have Bro John saying the embarrassment of Libyans or Nigerians by forcing them to contribute funds to pay for their sanctions by CAF is a shameful situation to the international community. It is left for FIFA to sanction Libya to deter them from further harassment on Nigerians working there, thanks to bad governance that have made Nigerians jackpot for greener pastures. And we have from Nantita. Good morning, Sharon Mandor. Good morning to you. I don't think we have human rights here in Nigeria. If we do, what are the functions of the judicial and that should be judiciary, and what are they creating laws? Why are they creating laws and not obeying it? It's high time we let the cat out of the bag and see the true stand of the law, regardless who is involved. Are the laws being made for the poor while the rich break the law? Interesting question.
All right, we got a message here on our WhatsApp page. When Boko Haram insurgents hoist their flag on a conquered territory is known as treason. But when minors waving a Russian flag in all in the name of bad government is called treason. It's unfortunate, and I urge the security agencies and the judiciary to stop these embarrassing Nigerians to the international community, because the Child Rights Act alone have covered up for those minors who are malnourished, added with scrupulous bills that are unimaginable. John Mbom, thank you.
We have keep the calls coming in 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. Hello, good morning. All right, we'll go to
call again. Otoekong is bail free Nigeria.
According to them, bail is free, but you know what happens when you get to the detention. Bail is not free. You know that bail is
all
not
right,
free.
let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning and welcome.
Welcome.
My name is Stephen. I'm coming from here.
Go on. Welcome.
I want to talk about for Nigeria to arrest the innocent ones, the innocent children that because of their action and they flat out another country's staff. Nigeria, the government have been authorizing people from prison wage. Politicians have been taking our rights from different years, many years ago, but nobody comes out to talk. The president that is arresting the children, the innocent children, protest against journalists, nobody locked him up. But we want to use this to shut Nigeria up. We are leaving everything because nobody is fighting. But we want to fight bad government for Nigeria. The children of Nigeria will get out of all these problems.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
just want to add that God will not come down from if there are battles, we are to fight them ourselves.
Certainly. For those who know Lagos, I don't know Lagos so well, but I think I know Ojota. A lockdown Ojota, the whole place was